Welcome to a very special episode of Conversations. And today we're shining a spotlight on the unsung heroes of our daily lives, the men and women who dedicate their entire lives and their energy and their attention and their time into caring for others. And, you and I, pag pinag-usapan natin in healthcare, we usually equate healthcare only to hospitals, doctors, and nurses. It's way beyond that. Marami pa. And I myself, I was amazed. And so many things I have to learn about this. And all the while, I thought I knew everything. Kaya nga, here in conversation tonight, you're gonna be amazed. We have with us three individuals who are so incredible in what they're doing. As a matter of fact, medyo nagulat sila nung in-invite ko sila na mag-guest ngayong gabi. At medyo nervous pa nga yung iba. Ayaw pa nga kumain kahit pinipilit ko pa. Baka kailangan na rin nila ng healthcare specialist katulad ko. So, we have the following people. We have Jenny, RN, registered nurse. You have to correct me if I'm wrong. And then you have Nina, PT, physical therapist. And then you have Matt, OT, which is overtime.
No, sir. It's occupational therapist.
Occupational therapist. Now, tonight, the way you guys educated me is what I'd like you to be able to share para doon po sa mga nanonood sa atin ay maintindihan lalo po yung ating occupation at the significance of what we do. And let me start by asking all three of you one question. Is it safe for me to assume and to say na parang lahat ng mga healthcare workers natin, ang kanilang ambisyon ay makapagtrabaho abroad?
For me, most of my coworkers, a lot of them typically dream of that, no? Working abroad kasi syempre the working conditions here in the Philippines, they're not the best. I'll admit that. But of course, working abroad, it typically it typically has different ups and downs, no, pros and cons. And so a lot of these people, they would think of going abroad, but eventually at the end of the day, they realize rin lang na, oh, maybe the grass is always greener on the other side, so why not stay in the Philippines? So lots of my coworkers as occupational therapists, they typically stay here instead. Pero again, maybe it's like a 50-50 thing, no, for occupational therapists. I'm not sure with other professions, no. Maybe physical therapists, it's a different story.
Right. And what about the physical therapist? Ganun din bang story yan, Nina?
Actually, I think we prefer the abroad setup kasi mas may freedom ang PTs abroad compared here in the Philippines.
Oh.
Kasi we're more boxed kasi we're still under rehab doctors and other kinds of doctors.
Okay.
So we need prescriptions first from them before we actually do the exercises with patients.
So it's not just a matter of earning a lot more, which obviously is, no? So may mga freedom pa rin pala in terms of practices and hierarchy. So ngayon, what's the difference between physical therapy and occupational therapy? Let's start with you.
Well, physical therapist focuses more on movement, on certain exercises that basically ang goal natin is ma-reach yung optimal function ulit ng isang patient. Ang OT is more on specialized and more on skill building sila. So parang kami, sa general kami of the body, and then ang OT is more on the skill.
Oh, I see. And habang pinag-uusapan natin na yung mga healthcare workers natin, siyempre, most of them I know are applying, di ba? Naghihintay lang sila na matawag, ma-interview, tapos lilipat sila. And then, Jen, galing ka na ron. And so, anong year yung umalis ka naman dito sa bansa at saan ka naman napunta?
From 2019, sir, to 2021, I'm working there in Middle East. So, in an ICU setup, so critical, in peak of COVID po ito.
Oh, wow. Peak of COVID pa. And then, ang Middle East kasi, malaking region. So, if you talk about Emirates and everything, medyo mas moderno ng konti. In your region, was it conservative or was it medyo modern, progressive?
Actually, sir, the hospital that I went is just like the hospital that I here in the Philippines. So here in the Philippines, I work on a big hospital also. So all the things, the materials, equipments are all same. So I did not do any adjustment. But the problem there was, first is the language barrier.
Ang hirap nun.
Yes. So, because for us nurses, the first one is the communication.
Oo.
So if you have problem regarding communications, it's difficult for you to have a rapport to a patient.
This might be a little bit funny, pero dito, katulad ko, pag ako pasyente, at nasasaktan ako, I would say, aray, aray, aray. What about in your region? Ano ang expression naman nila?
Actually, the one that I work is ICU. So most of them are in coma.
So unable to.
Yes. So we are checking their pain based on symptoms or the signs and symptoms in the machines, monitors.
So sa machine ka naman tumitingin.
Yes.
And then, ilang taon ka nandun? 4. So ano naman na naging decision mo to fly back here and serve here naman?
Yeah. Actually po, yung experience COVID era was very difficult because it was the peak of the pandemic. So in our setup, actually there's only 15 beds, but we have to maximize it to 45 beds.
You're talking about ICU?
Yes, in this ICU setup because all of the patients were life-threatening that time. So it was very difficult for us to work. And then, so after the pandemic, all of us are feel depressed already, miss their families because we are locked down like 2 years there.
2 years, wow. Ngayon, na-experience mo na rin siguro yung mismo na sa ICU ward na sumakabilang buhay din naman. So what was the immediate effect that hit you when something like that happens? And how do you guard yourself naman?
Actually, I remember we had 8 deaths in a day.
8?
8 deaths, sir.
Every day?
In a day.
In a day.
That's the peak. There's a day that we had 8 deaths.
8 deaths.
And you can see our doctors and nurses very depressing. They're already on breakdown. And then we are wearing our bunny suits.
Ngayon, full body suits.
So puro pawis, pagod, tapos continue CPR, continue codes.
Trying to revive.
Yes. So actually, it's very depressing. And despite that, we have to still work because we are holding lives.
So, when the pandemic happened, you were working.
Yes.
You were still studying.
I was still studying, sir.
Bakit ka ganyan? and the thing that impresses me is that you're very young and you are in occupational therapy and you are a board top-notcher.
Yes, sir.
So, when you were studying, yung ba talaga ang drive mo? Gusto ko maging board top-notcher dito, so you're gonna give your best.
Honestly, hindi po talaga. Even when I was studying, I would get high scores in exams, but always what I think about when I'm studying is I just want to do my best in everything I do.
Okay.
So one thing that I always think about is, will I be able to give enough to my patients in the future? That was my drive. I didn't really make it my point to always get the top score, no? Dito nga, naka-second lang ako so sa board exam. So it's not really my main goal, no? But it's always the patient first talaga when I study.
First,
yes.
and the patients first, and then giving your best.
Yes.
Nina, how did you do? What made you decide physical therapy at hindi OT o kaya hindi RN?
Actually, PT wasn't my first choice. It was actually MedTech.
MedTech. Okay.
But nagka-change of heart ako kasi yung pinsan ko nag-medicine siya. Tapos nag-regret siya na biology lang daw yung pre-med niya. Kasi originally mag-medicine ako, mag-doctor ako. But then, yun nga, sinuggest niya sa akin, PT daw is the better na pre-med kasi halos parang doctor levels na rin yung ginagawa namin.
Yes.
So, nag-change of heart ako, change ko yung course.
Ah.
Tapos, pumasa naman sa PT. And then,
Meron ka pa bang dream to pursue medicine pa?
currently, no. Pagod na ako Pero, at least doctorate of physical therapy someday.
And alam nyo, if you're watching this one, you know why it is so special for me for this episode to take place. Kasi sila pong tatlo, Jen and Nina and Matt, plus some more na hindi natin kasama, they are actually taking very, very good care of the Ilocana term of endearment for my wife. And actually, nakikita ko yung ginagawa nila. It's not easy. And, Nina, and I'm gonna ask kayo rin, ano ang the most difficult experience you had as far as your patients are concerned? Could you tell us the story?
Most difficult case ko, so far, ang lahat. Pag yung may mga Alzheimer's or dementia cases for me. Kasi ang dami mong kailangan tignan na factors in terms of treatment. Kasi hindi mo sure kung ano yung parang naaalala niya that moment. Kasi usually, pag may dementia or may Alzheimer's, they're not lucid. So, merong certain part of their memory sila. Like, may patient ako naalala nung 3 years ago, iniisip niya na lola niya ako. So, lola niya ako. So, panaymano siya sa akin. Tapos, hindi na ako makapag-PT kasi laging parang gusto lang niya makipaglaro sa akin. So, I have to kailangan kong kumondisyon kung ano yung nakikilala niya. So, ang mag-aaka ko as his lola. Tapos, dun ko ipapasama yung exercises.
Okay.
Minsan nakakalungkot din kasi minsan bigla na sila mag-breakdowns and then you have to comfort them. And then minsan din, parang ikaw rin, parang ma-overwhelm ka rin sa pag-treat sa kanila. Pero the mere fact na minsan napapasaya mo na lang sila.
And then, ano naman ang naging experience mo abroad? And can you compare that with your experience locally? What were the challenges na na-experience?
Actually, sir, sa ibang bansa nga po, katulad ng kwento ko kanina, it was the COVID peak. So actually for us nurses, our priority is to save as many lives as possible. Pero that time, as nung COVID po, we have to change the triage in our ICU setup. So we have to prioritize the persons that can live more para ma-reallocate namin yung resource namin and effort. So actually, yun po yung pinakamahirap dun nung panahon ng nasa abroad ako. Pero yung difference naman po nilang dalawa sa local and abroad. Syempre po, sa abroad, mas malaki yung monetary na payment sa'yo.
Yes.
Syempre, like 3 times to 5 times. Actually, meron pa po tayong mga nurses na 6,000 yung payment nila in a month. Private hospitals here in the Philippines. So, sobrang layo po.
Malayo.
Tapos, syempre, pero yung sa ibang bansa po, mahal yung sahod, pero yung difference po, you're not in the comfort of your home. Actually, for me na nurse po, mas masarap pa rin magtrabaho sa Pilipinas. Kasi dito, you feel that kahit sobrang pagod at stress ka, nasa pamilya ka pa din.
Home is where the family is naman talaga. So, in terms of observation mo, nung nasa Middle East ka, may nakita bang differences in the way the relatives of the patients treat the patient and the way our relatives treat our afflicted people?
Yes po. Actually, sobrang layo. Kasi in the Philippines po, yung maganda sa atin, sir, may close family ties tayo. So, I experienced in the abroad, one of our patients, walang kahit na sinong bumibisita. Tapos halos lahat ng mga families nila, kapag medyo old na, iniiwan nila sa hospital. So, tumatagal sa 5 years, 4 years sa hospital na walang kahit sinong bisita.
Itong experience ko kasi with Lilia, I remember our chief physician was saying na natutuwa daw siya at nakikita yung buong pamilya, support na dyan. And sumobra na yata. And may effect daw talaga sa recovery ng
Yeah, the
patient.
support
Ano,
system
diba?
is very
Yes,
important.
The support
Actually.
system.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And then, 1 year ka pala
Yes, po.
nagpa-practice. And you work in the government hospital.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, wala ka pang experience in working for a private entity?
For private, not yet.
Wala pa.
Private entity, wala. Typically kasi sa OTs, they work in private clinics.
Oo.
But ako, I chose to work in a government
And
hospital.
why is that so?
One is, of course, from my upbringing din talaga, in my university, they always tell us to serve the people. So that's why I chose to work there as well. And of course, working in a government hospital, it really exposes you to a lot of different people, a lot of different personalities, a lot of different conditions. So it's a good training environment for me as a novice practitioner, no? And that's why a lot of the skills that I've learned now, I attribute it to working in the government hospital. So that's why I'm thankful na nakapasa ako. There's a staff screening program kasi for that event.
So parang if you can make it there, you can make it everywhere. Parang gano'n.
Something like that, sir. Yes.
What about, OT? Hirap na hirap kami kumuha ng OT at
Yes
that
po,
time.
sir.
So
Yes.
between PT and OT, mas kukunti ang OT
Opo,
compared
Yes
to
po.
definitely.
PT. And why do you think that's the case?
Currently po kasi, I would say, no, I'd estimate maybe we have OTs around 6,000 or maybe 7,000 na po ngayon. And maybe only 10% or even less than 10% of those OTs would work in hospital-based with adults kasi the majority would work in clinics. A big reason kung bakit po ganun is dahil po mas mataas talaga yung pera when it comes to working in private
Clinic.
clinics as compared to working
Mas
in the
mataas
hospital.
ang nakukuha.
Yes.
And does that mean that mas mataas ang nakukuha mo sa mga clinics? Does that also equate to lesser work?
No, actually, it equates to more work. Kasi
More
for the
work.
clinics, yes. For the clinics,
Oh.
it's no work, no pay. Each
Okay.
client that they have, they get a professional fee as compared to sa hospital kasi. It doesn't matter if you have 0 clients for that day or 8 clients, pero at least steady po yung income pag sa hospital naman.
In terms of, kasi nakikita ko yung ginagawa mo Nina kay Lilia, no? So, you would carry her, tapos yung weight, and nasasaktan talaga yung patient because
May
that's
times talaga, yeah.
importante talaga
Mm.
for them to go through that. Hindi naman pwede. And what was your most challenging experience when it comes to carrying a patient?
My unforgettable one is 230 kilo stroke patient.
230 pounds or
Kilo
250?
talaga.
230 kilos?
Yeah. From 2023, yes. Mm-mm.
Oh my, lalaki pa ba?
Lalaki.
pa.
Just stroke pa siya, so yung half of his body is
Oo.
paralyzed.
So, kinaya mo?
As in,
Oh my.
buong pagkatao ko, mabuhat siya. Pero nung first time namin siya inupo, it took us 5 PTs.
Wow.
Para
5
mapo lang siya.
PTs,
And
pero-
nung tinayo namin, almost 8 PTs. Yeah.
Oo.
Para safety din kasi ang goal din namin.
Yes, yes.
Mm-mm.
Can you explain to me, what is the pain process na pumapasok dun sa pasyente when you are making buhat and making that person stand?
Yung process, feeling ko wala silang tiwala sa unang try. So,
Oo.
usually, I gain their rapport.
Yeah.
Tapos, pinapakita ko rin muna kung paano yung technique na gagawin. I
Okay.
explain my technique before I demonstrate it.
Hmm.
And minsan, pag may kasama pa akong like relative or kapwang PT, sa kanila ko muna yung gagawin.
Hmm.
Or at least they have an idea of how am I
Hmm.
going to do it.
Mm-mm.
And then once na sila na, ide-demo ko ulit. Tapos meron naman ako mga naka-standby din. So safety is always my priority. Tapos doon ko na siya i-execute.
Mm-mm.
Tapos di naman ako gagawa ng technique na hindi ako sure. Or hindi yun yung perfect for the patient. Kasi there are different techniques per patient. Like yung dun sa 230 kilo ko nga, I needed 8 people just to ensure na safe. Tsaka bantay ko lahat ng pwedeng possible na reasons na baka mahulog. Or like, unlike kay ma'am, isa lang ako kasi may iba akong technique na kaya sa kanya. And it depends din sa strength ng patient. Kasi yung patient na yun, half of his body as in 0. Unlike kay ma'am, may konting weakness pero she can at least do the motion.
Oo. So parang over time, medyo gumagaan din
Oh,
yung
yeah,
trabaho mo
definitely.
as the patient gathers strength. Ano? What about dealing with uncooperative patients?
No.
Dasal na lang. Nasumunod sila.
Actually, in the ICU setup, sir, marami kaming pwedeng gawin. So, we have chemical restraint, may mga ganito kaming pwedeng gawing restriction para sa pasyente. Other one, kunyari po, awake naman siya or uncooperative lang, yun yung na pinaka kailangan kasi for nurses is rapport para sa akin. Communication. Dapat makuha mo yung trust ng patient. So when you get the trust of the patients, pwede mo na siyang turuan para makipag-cooperate sa'yo.
Alam mo kanina, nag-strike sa akin yung kinukwento mo in times of crisis like a COVID situation. Kinakailangan i-maximize mo yung resources. So you ended up giving priority to those who are stronger and at a higher batting average for survival and all. Na hindi maintindihan ng tao yun. Siyempre, isipin ng tao, ito ngayon nangangailangan ng tulong, bakit mas matibay pa ngayon? Isa, bakit siyang inuuna mo? Ano? So, which leads me to a question. Have you ever encountered violent, non-cooperative, not patients, but relatives naman?
Oh,
Meron?
yes,
Marami.
sir. Definitely.
Parang last na.
Marami.
Yes, po. So a lot of these patients, no, they would come with caregivers who really, of course, they care for them, no. They're only there to establish na kailangan talaga safe yung patient. We want what's best for the patient. And oftentimes, with resources which are limited, no, we can't really give them everything. Or with scheduling, of course, we can't give priority, no?
Right.
May sinusundan pong schedule. So when we explain that, we always have to, of course, keep our composure when talking to them. So again, babalik na naman po sa communication. So even with the caregivers, you have to build rapport as well. So of course, you have to understand na rin where the patient is coming from and where the caregiver is coming from. Na they're only there to make sure na yung patient talaga, they're getting the best care that that you could give, right? And so, when you understand that, maka-empathize ka na rin with the patient. You have the patience as well to give to them. You give them grace kung bakit sila ganun nagre-react. And then you just try to alleviate the situation. Talk to them calmly, ganun po.
That is so true kasi pagka ikaw naman na nagwala, ikaw na yung patient no, later on.
Yes po.
And what about your experience?
Isip ko na lang na they're undergoing a stressful situation. So I have to read, hahabaan ko talaga pasensya ko. And if ako rin nga in their own shoes, baka ako rin nagwawala. Baka na lang nakasakal na rin ako ng nurse or ng doktor. Kasi syempre, ayaw mong nakikita yung mahal mo sa buhay na nasasaktan or nahihirapan. So gusto mo lahat ng the best care possible na maibigay sa kanila. So talagang patience talagang kailangan.
Yes. And Jen, I have a different question for you kasi nandun ka sa isang region na ibang-iba talaga ang kultura. And I may be wrong, please correct me. In that culture, parang ang trato sa female ay hindi kapareho ng kultura dito. So, let's get out of the ICU ward. Let's talk about your relationship with others and especially with the doctors and the people and the orderlies and the people and the staff. Na-experience mo na ba yung kakaibang trato sa'yo o hindi naman?
Actually, sir, privileged naman ako. Kasi yung bago ako nagpunta ng Middle East, my mindset is very nakakatakot yung Middle East or sa ibang bansa. Pero when I'm there, I found na hindi naman pala ganun. So, they are starting to be an open country na.
Yes.
So for us, lalo na as healthcare, we can go there without abaya, the one we're wearing. So, then, in the hospital setup, syempre, may rules ang hospital. So, guarded din kami. So, parang, hindi kami natatakot na may mangyari. So, for me, in the span of the year that I am there, hindi ako nakaranas, sir, ng parang minamaliit ka. Kasi para sa kanila, yung mga babae parang medyo holy eh. Ganun yung tingin nila.
I see.
So, mas safe ka pag babae ka kaysa sa lalaki ka.
And you also entered at a time nung nag-open up na sila.
Yes po.
You know, if there's a question I'd like to ask you, ano ang wish list nyo so that we can improve naman our, hindi ko naman sasabihin standard of living, but the standard of care that we can offer to our patients dito naman, starting with you?
Okay. So currently I work in a government hospital.
Yes.
No? That means we really have very limited resources. Some of our things, they date back from 90s, 80s pa. Ginagamit pa rin namin. So it's really hard to deal with the process of procurement and all of that.
Oh.
There's lots of things to process, no, when it comes to procurement of those things. So if I did have a wish list, it would mostly be parang revamping our clinics, revamping our the conditions of the hospital itself,
Provide
no?
us with more
The resources,
equipment and
yes, of course.
facilities.
Oo. Kasi at
Yes.
the end of the day, patients rin naman yung makikinabang dun sa resources na yun.
Oo. And then Nina and also Jen, I think you're so blessed to be associated with a hospital that has a lot of equipment, I think about. So in your case, ano naman ang wish list?
Higher salary.
Higher salary. There you
I
go.
think any healthcare worker would agree
Yes.
with me na
Oo nga.
sahod talagang major issue
Oo.
sa any healthcare actually. Kasi kahit entry level nga, daig pa na yung mga fresh grads versus yung mga sweldo namin. Yung asang ang layo niya, ang laki ng agwat from abroad tsaka here. I think that's a big reason why maraming healthcare mas gusto na mag-abroad. Kasi at the end of the day, salary is still there. Money is still
And you, Jen?
Yes, sir. Kasi po, I both experience local and international. Actually, yung pinaka-hope ko pa rin sa Pilipinas, yung magkaroon po ng healthcare na free for all.
Free healthcare.
Kasi,
Could you say that again?
Free
Ang
for
wish-
all.
Free for all. Universal health.
yes, universal healthcare.
Oo.
Why, sir? Kasi ngayon po katulad nga po ng experience niya, nasa government siyang hospital. Nag-train din po ako sa isang government hospital. And na-experience na kahit yung mga critical items ay kailangan pong hintayin. For example, medications. So, many hospitals na government or hindi naman government, they will wait for the family po para ma-provide sa patient. But for us, dealing with lives, it's very difficult.
Oo.
So, para sa akin kasi, life is very important. So, isa po yun talaga sa panalangin ko pa rin sa Philippines. Universal health. Paano ba natin sabihin yung universal health? Meron tayong PhilHealth po dito. Pero paano po nila nagagamit yung PhilHealth? Nagagamit din ng PhilHealth after discharge. Paano sa mga issue po na ito? So ibig sabihin po, yung health is for wealth lang. Wealthy persons. Sobra pong nakakalungkot. And if ako po yung titingin, in my point of view, bakit po yung mga ibang bansa, like Middle East, US, Europe, they can provide it. Halos po, siguro, ang tax rate sa Middle East is like 10 to 20%. Let's say Europe, 40 to 50% tax rate. Pero tayo mataas din po yung tax natin dito.
Mataas din.
And yung PhilHealth po ay hindi natin nararamdaman.
Hindi mararamdaman.
Non-existent.
Now, habang nakikinig ako sa isang news channel, may na-interview na isang presidente ng isang institution. Sabi nga niya, the average Filipino is just one hospitalization away from poverty. So, kasi dito sa atin, iba eh. It may not happen to you, but if it happens to your loved ones, ganun din yun. No? Tapos, is it fair for me to say na possibly maraming medical casualties ay dahil hindi na nila ma-afford? So, hindi na yung compliance na hindi na nila gagawin.
I think so, sir.
Do you think so? No?
I would agree.
If that's the case, wala kayong magagawa eh. Okay. Now, anong mas mahirap alagaan? Yung bang patients who come from well-to-do family or patients who are in that particular bracket wherein they struggle with their finances? Well, let's start with
Okay.
you.
For me, no, I've handled patients coming from both the lower socioeconomic class and the higher socioeconomic class. No, when it comes to patients who are more wealthy, of course they can typically buy all the things that they need. But the problem comes from compliance naman. So yun yung nagiging mahirap sa kanila. Compliance na, ginagawa or nabibili nyo nga yung mga kailangan, no? Pero hindi nasusunod kasi sometimes they don't really have enough caregivers, no, to do all those things. Medyo sometimes hindi ganun ka-close with the wealthy people, no? Hindi ganun ka-close yung ties with family. So medyo na iiwan sila in terms of compliance. So in rehab, that's very important. So rehabilitation, kailangan compliance talaga ang important when it comes to going back to ano yung dating nagagawa.
So no letting up, talagang tuloy-tuloy, ano. Kaya nga ako'y nagugulat. For example, if people are saying na the recovery of the Ilocana is very fast, no? Kasi tuloy-tuloy yan. Pero does it also entail a lot of fighting spirit from the patient? O kung hindi mo kita yung drive at yung patient na yan, is there a way for you to force it para mag-comply na?
I really need to motivate our patients. That's a big factor in rehab, especially. Kasi kailangan namin talagang makita yung willpower na gusto niyang gumaling, or else, basically, parang wala rin yung kwento yung ginagawa namin. Kailangan mo talagang pilitin kahit na minsan na sumisigaw na, or nagmamakaawalan na huwag gawin, or pinapalayas na ako minsan, napatuhan ako ng gamit. Kailangan mo pa rin ilaban sila kung hindi nila kaya ilaban sarili na.
Pero
kami yung parang
sa experience ko sa'yo, at saka ni Ilocana, ako'y pinapalayas. Pag pinapatayo, nagagalaw. Ba't si Chad? Di ba? Kasi the pain cannot be understood by people like us.
Yes.
Diba?
But we try to sympathize. We try to understand talaga. We try to be in their shoes.
So part na rin ng trabaho mo is to be a cheerleader, to be a motivational speaker.
Yes, nagawa ko na yata lahat ng cheerleader.
Oh my goodness.
Nasayawan ko na, nakantahan ko na yung mga patients ko. Just anything that can bring them to their norm.
Marami tayong pinapag-usapan. And then this is one thing which, as we come to a close to our episode, how important is the rapport and the chemistry? Marami ako nakikitang development between you and the supervising doctors. Gano'n ka-importante at ano ang effect niyan sa welfare and well-being ng patients? Yeah.
For me, sir, kasi po as a nurse, we are the one actually 24/7 for the patient. So, for me, we are hands and eyes of the doctors. So, nurses po, kasi yun yung mali sa thinking nila, na parang servant lang and all. But actually, hindi po ganun yung pagiging nurse. We are actually using our critical thinking, checking the patient, observing them, kung ano po yung, marami pong akong experience sa critical care, na ang unang line of defense or unang nakakakita po is nurses.
Yes.
Because doctors, if you can see, they have like 1 to 50 patients. But we are the one there. 1 is to 1, 1 is to 8.
Right.
Tutok po kami sa pasyente. So, kung ang kultura dun sa hospital is collaborations, and they will allow nurses na ipakita yung potential nila. Kasi yung nagiging mali po sa atin ngayon, parang classical Parang ang dating doktor ako, ganun. Pero hindi po dapat. Kasi as we po, as professionals, tulad po sa amin, nurses, actually, the nurses have lots of informations. Our course of study is intertwined po sa lahat ng healthcare. Making us bridge po for collaborations. So for example, kami po yung nagana sa doctors, nagana sa PT, nagana sa OT. And if gusto lang nilang marinig yung boses namin, if they will not just look at us as a nurse lang po, probably po yung mas good po para yun sa welfare ng pasyente. Kasi kami po yung nakakakita
That is so true. I think we are so blessed. I mean, Lila and I, yung mga namimit namin mga doctors, ang gagaling talaga. Very professional. Akalain mo, there was one time when I was told, I wasn't there. I was told na pagpasok sa hospital room, yung resident, binuksan agad ang ilaw. And then this doctor whom I really admire, sabi nga, oops. Go to the patient muna and ask permission. Is it okay if we open the lights? Alam mo, many years ago, hindi ganyan, ha? Noong araw, yung mga doktor, hindi mo makakausap. Pagkatapos, pag kami tinatanong ka, parang ang feeling nila, pag in-explain ko sa'yo, maintindihan mo ba? Yung mga ganun, no? And so, nag-evolve na rin,
Yes.
no? Nag-evolve.
Mas approachable na sila.
Meron ba mga doctors that you will find very scary? And what kind of, what makes you scared?
Matanggalan nila ako ng lisensya. Yung titig lang nila sa akin. Nangihinan.
The classical mindset, sir.
Yeah,
Yung classic mindset na doctor sila. So, yung tingin po nila sa lahat ng ibang allied professionals are mas mababa po sa kanila. So, yun po yung, kaya nakakatakot. Kasi alam mo na kahit anong sabihin mo, mas magaling
sila
sila.
talaga.
Feeling nila mas magaling sila.
Do you, in that government hospital that you are there, tapos batang-bata ka,
Yes.
and you're 1 year pa lang,
Yes po.
do you sense, do you feel na may konting discrimination because of your youth?
Honestly, I have the opposite of experience from them. No, our doctors actually are quite approachable. So even if I'm a first year, or even if I'm only 1 year into practice, no, some of our doctors, they come to me, ask for advice for the patients.
Okay.
So in our hospital, it's a training hospital. So that means that we have residents who really come there to train to become rehab doctors, no? And so they actually respect the paramedicals, the nurses, OTs, PTs, speech therapists as well, and psychiatrists, psychologists. They see them like on the same level as themselves. And so they regard each one of us as experts in our own professions. That's why they come to us, ask for advice. Sometimes I really become happy when a doctor comes to me, no, and asks for advice. Kasi I know that doctor really cares for that patient, and so it motivates me a lot more to care for those patients.
So hindi ego, hindi yung posisyon, kung hindi yung what's best for the patient.
Yes po. Yeah,
Malaking
teamwork
bagay
lang.
nga naman yan. Alam mo, many years ago, it was even worse. Kaya nga nauso yung kasi the reason why I'm telling you this is, madalas ako ma-invited to speak in the medical professions from different practices. So nakakatanggap ako ng mga konting story. And many years ago, it wasn't like that. Parang mas malaki ngayon ng gap, di ba? Tapos sa mga nurses naman talagang parang kulang pa ng respect at the way I see them extending to you now. In fact, many years ago, I used to say this story. Sa New York daw pala, there's a hospital na lahat ng mga batang magagandang nurse, meron silang golden apple pin sa lamin. Nung tinatanong sila, bakit pa lahat ng mga magagandang batang nurse may apple pin sa lapel? Ang sagot daw, an apple a day drives the doctors away. Diba? Pero ngayon, hindi. Very professional sila. I'm not so happy. And as a matter of fact, the way I look at the three of you, extending your care to my wife, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Kaya nga naisip ko na kinakailangan dito po sa episode na to, makuha din natin ang story coming from them. Kasi hindi na ito storytelling lang. Ito ay talagang actual experience. And, you know, one of the sweetest things during COVID-19 is talaga naman pinapalakpakan ng mga healthcare, nagpapadala ng pagkain and everything else. Wala na masyado ngayon no?
Wala na po. Sa wakas.
There you go. Last portion before we close. Para sa mga kumukuha ng nursing, para sa mga nakakuha na ng nursing, what's the piece of advice out from your experience that you would like to share dito sa ating mga healthcare professionals?
Actually, sa tingin po ng marami, going abroad is dream. Pero sa totoo lang po, for me, before you go abroad, you have to equip yourself sa lahat ng knowledge na dapat mong makuha. Bakit? Kasi if you go abroad, wala na pong makukuha, wala ka ng trainings na makukuha. Ikaw na lang yun.
Ikaw na yun.
Yes. So, ang gusto ko pong masabi sa kanila na kailangan po talaga nilang think out of box. Marami po kasi sa aming mga nurses, ang tinitingin, pag nagtatrabaho, is monetary lang. Parang pag-uwi, uwi na. Ay, pag-trabaho, uwi na, ganyan. Pero if you think na kailangan mong gawing best yung sarili mo. For example ako, sir, example ko na lang po yung sarili ko, no? Inaral ko pong magbasa ng x-rays, ng labs. Kumbaga, kasi alam ko na yung bagay na yun, it can help me para mas makasave ng lives. Our profession po is hindi siya laro. Hindi siya joke para na pera lang tas uuwi ka. Hindi siya ganun. So, everything that you equip yourself, it alives po. Buhay yung nagka-count doon. So, dapat pong ganun yung maging mindset nila.
Alam mo, dito ko nakita while you guys were sharing your experiences na Lilia and I were so blessed to have you. Kasi iba talaga yung heart niyo for the patient and we can, hindi na ako sa bola yan eh. You can fake care. Diba?
Yes.
Mahuhuli mo yan. And then, ikaw naman Nina, what advice can you give to kumukuha ng PT? And before you say that, pinaalala lang. Out of your own initiative, inaral mo yung x-ray, pinasukan mo yung mga ibang bagay na pwede mo naman sabihin, hindi ko na-area yan eh. Diba? Pero pinasukan mo because your heart was driven with the care for the patient. No? Meron akong ibabalita sa'yo. So, every October, November, bumabiyahe ako eh. So, lumilipat ako pagkatapos European countries, UAE, kausap ko yung mga kabayan natin. Tapos, na-invite, siyempre may courtesy call ako sa ambassador, sa Philippine consul. Sabi ng isang ambassador sa akin, sabi ko kasi sa kanya, amba, ano mga issues natin dito na gusto mo i-address ko para ma-encourage naman yung ating kabayan? Alam mo, sabi niya sa akin, marami tayong mga healthcare workers dito eh. Ito yung mga nakapagtapos ng nursing. Naglilinis ng bahay. Sabi ko, bakit? Sabi ko, well, yung healthcare industry, mag-grow talaga yan. So, why don't they ambition to practice doon sa kanilang miniature nung nasa bayan sila? Ang katuwiran daw ay there are countries na pagpasok mo, pwedeng dumiretso ka na, tumulong ka na. But there are countries in the European region na kinakailangan mag-review ka pa, kukuha ka pa ng exams. So ang katuwiran nila, amba, kung maglinis lang kami ng bahay, pagod na kami, paano pa kami makakapag-review? What's your comment on that?
Actually, sir, yun po yung isa sa pinakamasaklap na katotohanan. Na akala po ng iba mabilis mag-ibang bansa. Pero for us professionals, every country that we'll go, we have to do credential, parang licensing. So for example, US, NCLEX, ganyan. UK, ganun. So for us, it's very difficult. Yun nga po yung pinaka-nakakalungkot. Kasi, ba't kailangan mo pang maghirap? Well, other caregivers, cooks, mabilis po silang pumasok sa mga bansang yun without any license. So, kaya po yung options ng iba is to, yun nga po, magtrabaho na lang as nannies para makapasok. Kasi yung point nila is makapasok sa bansang yun para kumita ng pera.
So, pero yung pay scale ng isang nurse compared to a nanny, malaki rin ang difference. O hindi masyado?
Yung
Oo, malaki.
Malaki.
Pero mahaba po kasi yung proseso na kailangan mo i-comply.
E di yung fatality, yung casualty, mataas din. Marami rin bang di na talaga nila kaya, tapos they settle for other professions.
Yes, marami.
Oh yeah, especially during the pandemic.
So malungkot din pala.
Maraming nag-breakdowns. Ang daming nag-resign.
And what advice would you give to people who are sick na PT?
Sa PT, it's all worth it. Kasi, well, for me, sa pinaka-nakakapagod na profession ng PT kasi there's the motivation, there's the yung mga buhat, tsaka usually yung patient load din namin. Pero it's worth it pag makita mo yung unang step ng patient mo after working so hard for so many days. Sobrang worth, may iyak ka pa talaga. Kahit yung patient mo, sabay kayong iiyak together. Kasi yung milestone niya is milestone mo din. And for me, yun yung best feeling pa rin talaga. After 7 years.
Milestone.
Yes.
Yun pa rin talaga yung hinahanap kong thrill.
Pero nakikita naman kita in action. You're always very jolly.
Kailangan.
Kailangan.
Yes, sir.
Ba't ikaw naman? Kailan ka mag-aasawa? Hindi yun ang question. So, what advice would you like to give? Oh, yeah, I know. 1 year ka pa lang sa government service. But, I mean, you up-notcher ka sa board and everything else. Ano naman ang advice may bibigyan mo sa
I think not just for occupational therapists, no, even for allied healthcares, all paramedicals, once you're in that profession kasi or you're planning to go into that profession, it becomes a lifelong vocation na. So my advice really is to not be afraid to become uncomfortable and take those risks, no? Ako nag-take ako ng risk. I tried to go for a path that's less traveled. Kasi nga, di ba, 90% goes to private care kasi doon yung pera. But I chose PGH kasi feel ko, doon ako mag-grow. And it turns out, a year later, no, I'm really happy with my decision. I wouldn't be here, no, if I didn't choose to be in the government hospital that I work in now. And so I have all those learnings now and I feel a lot more fulfilled now that I chose to become uncomfortable in those moments, no? I took that risk and now I think it pays off naman po at the end.
Alam mo si Matt, 1-year-old pa lang yan. Batang-bata, kulang pa sa experience yan. Alam mo ba, pinag-usapan natin kanina, hindi natin babanggitin yung hospital, pero nabanggit na. But now that nabanggit mo na, why is there such a high respect for PGH and the doctors and the medical staff, in your opinion?
Again, PGH kasi, it's, when you say PGH, no, it's equal to like the highest talaga prestigious no na institution. So despite it being a government hospital, all the people train there, all the doctors, all the paramedicals, they come there to train because that's where you meet the variety of patients. No? So you get to meet different patients, the rare conditions, that's where you see it, that's where you grow. So again, it's uncomfortable, but that's where you grow.
Kumbaga, war zone.
Yes po, parang war zone.
Okay.
So after that, parang kaya mo nang gawin lahat.
Yeah. And Jen, Nina, Matt, maraming salamat. Thank you so much for gracing this episode. And isa lang naman ang request ko sa inyong tatlo. Pagkatapos po mapanood natin itong episode na to, pagkatapos marami po kayong mapupulot ng mga ideas at makikita mo talagang exceptional ang ating healthcare workers. Nandun yung puso nila, nandun yung spirit, nandun yung concern sa patient. Huwag niyong ipopoach yan at mawalan kami ng healthcare. But we enjoy it. We really appreciate your heart and your work for this. And that concludes our episode for Conversation. Marami na ako na-invite, marami na ako na-guest, at marami na ako na-interview. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin ako sanay na magsabi na, if you like this channel, like and subscribe, and ano ba yun? Click the button downstairs. But please do. And I hope that this has been a very refreshing episode that provides information and knowledge for us to be able to understand them a lot better. And really, 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 hindi lamang natin nire-reserve yung pagpapalakpak sa ating healthcare workers during COVID. Pero ngayon din, maraming salamat. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.